Well, well, well. I'm still fucking sick. God damn it. God damn it, I hate it here. Goodness. Oh, tracking's not working. Hold on a second, chat. Hold on a second. I'm not showing you what I look like right now because it's kind of a travesty. Oh my goodness. Come on. Tracking? Tracking? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, this will do. This is a little better. This is a little better. Okay, and now you can look at me. Now you can look at me. Oh, 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 oh. Why are you doing this? Reset. Reset. Welcome in, guys. Holy shit. Come on, model. Come on, model. We did some finagling last night, and it's not behaving. It's not behaving now for some reason. I don't know why. What's up, Sunstar? What's the deal? What's the deal? I think he noticed that I reset the leaderboard. I think he noticed that I reset the fishing leaderboard. Because I did do that. I did do that. What's wrong? You don't like how bouncy I am? Am I too bouncy? Am I too bouncy? Run, it's the sickly Baron. It's sick go round. No! Here's some bits to celebrate your new model. Well, thank you, cool. Oh my goodness, that was weird. That was very weird. Oh my goodness. I need to mess with the mouth some more because the settings for the mouth is very weird, as you can tell. It's very unusual because they're basically PNGs. And I was just looking because I was told to look. Look where? Oh, okay, gotcha. I see. I see. Just looking, just peeping. Peeping, are we? Are you? Are you, Chad? Is that what you're doing? Are you peeping? Are you peeping over there? Anyway, it's very interesting to be able to turn my head like all the way. I can turn my head all the way. Amazing. Amazing. Gone so long, I forgot about the leaderboard. So who won? Guess who, motherfucker? It's you. The leaderboard's been reset, by the way. The fishing leaderboard has been reset. Sunstar was ahead by like 8,000 points. The next one was Faye, but Faye gets these special updates anyway. You've lost so many pixels since Zebby's stream? That's true. But I got an upgrade. I look cooler now. I look so much cooler. I look so much cooler. I'm having a bit of lag too, and I don't know why. It's very weird. It's very weird. I did pull up Monster Hunter earlier. I didn't do much in it other than open it and see if there was any issues. It's a mix. We'll see what it's like when we start playing the game. We got them special polygons. You're talking about these special polygons? My pointy bits? That's such a nice necklace. There's no necklace. I mean, I guess there's a choker. In the Carnival Business Department, we made the calculations and we realized that there's still too many polygons. We're going to have to reduce them. Oh, okay. Have we reduced enough polygons?
Making a mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Your big honking Laura Crofts. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're all. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I froze for a second. That was weird. It was very weird. Interesting. Why did they go pop? Because we had to reduce polygons. Do we need to reduce more polygons? I don't think the sensor can't stay around the whole time. But for real, congrats on 2.0. Oh, we haven't hit 2.0 yet. This is just the intermission. This is like 1.9. Consider this update 1.99. 2.0 isn't done yet. 2.0 won't be a full release until at least the end of this month. At least the end of this month. 1.9 days of sleep. Oh god, I kind of need some sleep. I feel like I need some sleep. I feel like I need it. Oh my god. Chat, yesterday after stream ended, I went and got, I'm sorry I'm doing this like head bounce. It's me because I typically nod along when I'm talking to y'all and it moves the whole body. Oh, I froze. I I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's very interesting. It's very weird. Again, I just wanted to use this again for today because we just did the debut for it yesterday. So I wanted to show it off more. But it's probably not going to be for every stream. It's going to be mostly for like retro games and stuff. It's just what? It's just what? Nodders? Fun? Nodders? I don't get it. Nodders? Go drink your water. I'll drink my water. Enjoy your gym time, Rin. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do we need? Did we call for less polygons too? I can take some more off. We can do that. We can get rid of those. What else do I have? Hold on. We could get rid of these. The chains go bye-bye. I feel like I'm angled weird. Why am I angled this way? Here, do a slight tilt. Hit him with the tilt. Oh, I can't hit him with the tilt. There we go. Just give him a tilt. Maybe it's the expressive stuff that I added. So my legs are very stiff now. My legs are very stiff now is one of the settings that we played with. Unchained. Use your imagination. Not like this. Oh, not like this is gone. It's gone, Sunstar. Not like this is gone. The next one we're going to get is probably going to have to be an... Did y'all get a hype train? I like where that was. That was funny. But that's everything that oh, outlines. There, see? Now my outlines are less thick. I could make those go away. It's a very interesting part of the model. Very interesting part of Vox's style. Are we getting new not like this? No, I'm offering y'all. I'm offering y'all a chance. Something I've been meaning to add to the throne is zombie emotes. So zombies emotes are crazy expensive, like really expensive in terms of what a single emote is. And if y'all want to get more of them, which they're really good quality and they are well worth it. All I see are 2 swamp and an islands. Well, 1 island is enough to counterspell. You should know that by now. But do you have your soul ring to cast that, Ordain? Oh my god, wait, what is there? Do you even know how many spells I cast per day? I don't think we want to know how many spells Ordain casts per day. Would be an interesting thing, though. Would be a very interesting predicament. Here, we'll bring these back, but they're small. But they're small. Quite small. Quite small. Thamps. Gotta charge my phone, BRB. Enjoy your lurk. Oh my goodness. You're probably still going to hear me sniffle a lot today. I've taken Mucinex. I've taken Mucinex nearly every day. I've been sick and it has not stopped my runny nose. I hate it. I hate it. Send in the cleanup crew. Me sneezing a fucking living blob onto the floor. Hi, Fairbanks. Oh, I remember thinking I was going to say, so after stream yesterday, I got Chinese food. And if you haven't been in the Discord, I ordered like a bunch of food. Because I was like, oh, I'll eat this today and tomorrow at least. So I ordered like 2.5 meals, essentially. Like the equivalent of 2.5 meals, not counting like the rice that automatically came with everything. And so like I ate the chicken last night. And I checked one of the other things I got, which was pork egg foo young. And oh my God, it was so packed in there. I didn't realize it, but the entire like little plastic package that it came in was full to the brim with like the omelets that make up egg foo young. I don't know how many there were separately. There was at least 3 of just these thick ass egg pancakes. What do you mean 30? I'm at at least 250. Amazing. Amazing. Ordain, why do you cast so many spells in a day? Do you have mana? What is the magic system here? We're going to talk about we're going to talk about one of the things that most writers absolutely fuck up on when it comes to writing their fantasy world, and that's the magic system. Go on, Ordain. Tell us about your magic system. Don't fuck it up now, or we'll roast it. We'll roast it live on stream. Tell me your secrets. Mana, it's bullshit. Okay, I like where this is going. It's fairly odd parents rules. Gotta cast those spells. Okay, or Ordain's gonna explode. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I can see where that's going, but there's gotta be a caveat, right? You can't just have unlimited magic. Typically you can't just have unlimited magic. We can't live under the assumption that Ordain is like some deity or something, right? Right? I don't know why I keep looking to my side. There's the only thing to look at is the me that is not on OBS. Can't have that magical backup. True. Ordain cut down the lands. Ordain add a few 1 and 2 drops. You have 15 7+ mana cards. That's true. Ordain does seem like the kind of person that's running board wipes. Or you got to recharge the magic like a Green Lantern. Okay, that makes sense. Like you have to do a special chant and go to a special location. Or have like a battery, a backup battery. Ordainity. Oh my God. I think Ordain ran. I don't think Ordain likes questioning his magic system. Is that the caveat? If we don't believe in it, does it stop working? Oh, I froze again. Why did I freeze? Hello? Ooh, good song. Oh my goodness, sacrificing the ringleader for extra magic? True, I will grant magic. I do work just like a warlock patron. If you gift me things, I give things back. And sometimes it's magic. Sometimes it's magic. Other times it's just a cool tattoo that you could never remove. Schrodinger's magic, it fails upon direct observation. Listen, that's literally just Mage the Ascension. That's literally just Mage the Ascension. The second magic is observed or seen, and it seems to be magic, it ceases to like function and kills the person who did it. I don't know how my own magic system would work in my D&D setting. What's it like? No wonder Ordain was running a sliver deck. It's hard to think of something. Give me a second. Okay, he's doing his best. He's doing his best. I don't know why I keep randomly lagging. Here, let me do something real quick. I'm going to close some things. I'm going to close some tabs. We're going to close some tabs here and there. Okay. It's hard to think of something. Give me a second. I got gun. What? Is it a gun that shoots other guns? Is this the situation of like, what? Oh boy, would you like some pie? Oh boy, what flavor? Pie flavor. Lower poly, lower frames. PC is getting too comfortable. Wait, what? You think the PC is relaxing too much with low poly? I think this is actually more resource intensive than what was it? Than like a regular thing. Than like the other models. Both the Chibi and the main one. Hold on a second. I have something, drawback 1, I can't cast low level spells. Oh, okay. Are you like, what's that character that only knows explosion magic from that one anime? Oh, I don't know her name. I know there's the nerd in here that knows her because she was super popular for the longest time with the explosion. So the way I interpret it to the force of disbelief is something that smacks the mage directly rather than direct blowback from the spell. Oh yeah, it's reality snapping back. It could be anything from like, I've seen examples of people just being like, oh, they have like a small aneurysm and like their nose starts bleeding or something minor depending on like how bad it is. You look different today. I got a haircut. Newell. I got a haircut. And I went to the gym, so my ass is looking great. And I got this cool new jacket. Seething with jealousy over the low poly model. Vox is pretty affordable for what it is. I mean, the link is down below if you want to go. He's really fast. He knocked mine out in like... By the time he got to mine, what was it? Hold on a second. When he got to mine, It took him like 2 or 3 days. 3 days, I think. Something like that. It was not very long. It was not very long. And it wasn't the fuzz like chat does. The fuzz? It's low poly valid run. Get your ass back here, Wolf. Get your ass back here, Wolfie. I've really got to learn Blender. Blender is a fucking magical place. Blender is a goddamn wonder. Perhaps. Listen, you can't go wrong. Goodness. Oh. I'm either like stuffed up in my nose, like right now. I can't really, oh goodness. I can't really breathe through my nose really well. And I keep burping. For some reason, like these really tiny burps that just keep interrupting me when I talk. Let's be honest. How does someone explain release all the SCPs as a spell? Stampede. You cast Stampede. Supernatural Stampede. Blender is ancient magic I fear to touch with a 10-foot pole. I tried to learn Blender, God, like 3-4 years ago, something like that, a good long time ago. And I tried to use the infamous donut tutorial. If anybody doesn't know what that is, there is a donut tutorial out there as like baby's first model, which basically teaches people from like open program all the way through making and creating like a donut, a plate for the donuts, an environment for the donut, and then how to like light an environment. It goes really in depth. Turns out the guy who made it was a piece of shit, but that's besides the point. But I had an issue trying to learn on there and I could not figure out for the life of me what it was. I think it was because I had like a different edition than the guy that was doing the tutorial had or something. But this guy was being like, okay, next you're going to need this tool, which can be found up here in this section. And like, I would put the video on full screen so I could see exactly where he was going. And I would go to that spot and the tool he was using would not be there. And I'm like, hello? Where is it? Where's the fucking tool? I'd very much like to have it. I know Maya, but Maya is expensive. Maya? I don't know what Maya is at all. We're now making games only using the donuts, but different variation of the donuts. Oh my God. It's just like, I was gonna say, it's like the donut from Adventure Time, right? Right? There's this donut character. No, he's a cinnamon roll, I think. Oh, I forget. I think was there a donut cop somewhere? That's Gumball. I'm pretty sure that's Gumball that had the donut cop. I'm having PTSD from college? What do you mean? Guides being outdated, a true curse. True. Hi, Donkler. How are you doing? Hold on a second. It's an Autodesk product? Oh, I've never heard of it. Expensive as hell and bullshit 3D modeling program? Huh. Very interesting. Donut Cop is Gumball? Yes. Okay. Ooh, good song. I wish I could breathe out of my nose! Fuck! God damn it. Oh my goodness. Chat, hold on. I don't think I didn't even check the news today. I have no idea if there's anything going on Twitter or, you know, any of that shit. Ooh! Invincible season 3. Okay, hold on. Let me do a quick thing real quick for y'all so we can do, here we go. Grand old reset. Actually, I'm going to reset it over here. There we go. I have to do these adjustments so that y'all get like a little better, like natural positioning whenever I'm swapping between monitors because the camera is directly in front of me. Why is it? Okay, so it looks fine whenever I'm looking at this other monitor. That's fine. That's whatever. Kanye West discloses autism diagnosis amid public debate. Congratulations, Kanye. You now know what everybody else already knew about you. Hi, Donkler. Thank you. of those low poly 3D models. Hell yeah. I love this model. I can't quite figure out the mouth fully. Because right now it seems to really want me to like really emphasize my mouth movements. So I'm like over here, I'm like fucking puppeteering my own face to try and get it to do the motions properly. I could probably adjust the gain because technically the motions are on a lip sync. So technically it's like listening to what I say and working from there. Remember, chat, college and old guides are a scam. They can be. College and old things can be, like those can be a scam. Let me see really quick though. Releases. That's a butt. It's not my butt. Unfortunate. That's somebody else's butt. Okay. Kanye West, Invincible Season 3, Riot Games, Hex Tech chess decision sparks community outrage. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. No, this still isn't right. Why is it doing it this way? Why does it seem like I'm looking up? Strange. Here, do it this way. Look straight ahead. That's a little better. That's a little better. Okay. Like the woman who refused to let me into the classroom because no technology and because I had the digital copy, I wasn't about to buy the physical, so she dropped me from the classroom because she was fired, but still, that's fucked up. Old things are awful unless it's that old form with a bizarre post hidden within that has the exact answer to the problem. Prage, yes. God, I listen. College, I was saved in college because of websites like that, where like somebody from 10 years before, where they'd still been using the same fucking question, had just saved my ass. Hold on a second. Okay. Oh my God. This is like a character Kono would design. Weird. Very, very odd. And no, chat, I'm not going to show it to you. Hi, Ellie. How are you doing? I got a website that references formats automatically. Wait, what? I send a hug and good wishes for the Monster Hunter hunts. I haven't even played it yet. No, it's not planetary. It's just the character looks like she's all tit. And then I realized I recognized the artist because I've seen her art around. It's just for some reason this particular character is different. She looks like Iris from Hololive for some reason. Very odd. I think it's supposed to be Iris, but I don't think they wanted anybody to know that they were commissioning art like that of Iris. Interesting. Is that my wife? Chat, you should go check out my wife's YouTube channel. She's still getting very close to YouTube partner. But, okay, yeah, I remember this artist. I remember this artist very well. I'm gonna put that away because there doesn't seem to be any like, well, exciting news, interesting news. Yeah, we already knew Invincible 3 was coming. Destiny news, Christ. Wait, there was supposed to be a Constantine video game? I've been spotted. You have been spotted. You have been spotted. You can't run no mo. You can't run no mo. But... yeah, apparently there was a Constantine video game pitched at Warner Brothers, and it was never approved. Fuck. Damn it. I'm not gonna bother reading that out loud. Who the fuck is this dude? Oh, this is a shithead who doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, next. Next. Johnny Depp? Okay. Okay, never mind. There's nothing of interest here. NBA. Transformers? No. Goodness. Ooh. Release of the JFK assassination files? Ooh. Ooh. Okay, anyway. Oh, they released preview pictures of some of the characters for the next Avatar movie. The James Cameron Avatar movie, the Blue People Avatar movie, not the whoosh pow bang elements Avatar movies. Thank God. But oh God, what is this? Oh, fuck. Oh, no, your meme. You didn't have to tell me this. On this day, 2 years ago, the first episode of Skibidi Toilet was posted to YouTube. Well, there's our cursed knowledge of the day. Finally, news I want to hear. Shut the fuck up. No, absolutely not. Hold on a second, chat. Let me do a thing really quick. I'm going to adjust this. Actually, I'm going to do it here. There we go. Well, February 7th is now forever cursed. Yeah, we're just not gonna, you know, think about it. Yeah, that. We're not gonna think about it. I actually think I am gonna turn this part off. Yeah, I like this motion a little better. Even if I still do the hand bounces. Okay. No grins. Somebody get the spray bottle. The spray bottle does not mean, hold on a second. The spray bottle does not mean to fucking time out. The spray bottle means delete message. No, please have mercy. Thank you, Carrie. Oh wait, he wanted more? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, give him the level 2 spray bottle. Carrie, give him the level 2 spray bottle. That grins. Shut. Just everybody like reaches over, just pinches his lips. Also, Diablo 99,000, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I'm sorry my voice is shot. I am still coming off of being sick, and my nostrils are absolutely clogged. Send help, please. Get the nostril miners. Me, battery is running on empty. Good night. Good night, Ordain. Sleep well. Go recharge your magic. The Ordain magic. Ordain magic. Who knows what it could do? Okay. I just realized I've been slouching to like try and avoid messing up the fucking tracking. And I feel like my chair's not like all the way forward for some reason. It feels weird. I don't know. Since 5 in the morning? Oh God, I've been awake since 7. I've been awake since 7 because I had to go to the gym before we had a collab earlier today. Good Ordain is gone. Now I can play my Oops All Urza's deck. Oh. What are you doing with that all Urza's deck? Are you running Tron? Hyper? You're not running Tron, right? This is a casual tournament. Right? No Tron? Hyper, I need you to confirm it. I need you to tell me right now you did not bring a Tron deck to this casual tournament. Making some huge ass constructs? Oh, fuck. Fuck. How could you do this? How could you do this to us? This was supposed to be fun and safe, Hyper. Okay, go beat up the kids. Go play against the kids. It's fine. It's fine. It's fun to watch kids lose at Magic. I was a kid that lost at Magic. Everybody was a kid that lost at Magic at some point. How do you like 5 2020 constructs with menace and flying? They don't have indestructible, right? And they're not, what is it? It's not spell proof. What's the thing that makes them so they can't be targeted by sorceries or I forget what they're called. Finally got Goth Invisible Woman skin for being gold, yippee. Hell yeah. I have not played Race Car Sugar Daddy. Welcome in. Are you an actual sugar daddy? I do apologize if I sound off. I'm going to say this to every person that follows. I usually sound a whole lot better, but my nostrils are currently clogged to shit because I'm getting off being sick. When was the last time I played Marvel? January 22nd. I haven't played Marvel since January 22nd. They're indestructible. Thanks, Darksteel Forge. Fuck. Yeah, hexproof. Hexproof was the mechanic I was thinking of. Is that supposed to be 2 different nostrils? Why is one a sniper? Why is one a sniper? I am. Someone get me out of this role. The car drains all my money. Of course it's a car. Of course it's a car. Is it a streetcar? Is it a shitbox? Be honest. You can tell me if it's a shitbox. Do you have a shitbox ricer? Because it's a sharpshooter? Oh my god. Thanks for the suggestion, motherfucker. I'm pretty sure there's probably a card in Magic that lets you give like all artifacts. What is it? All artifacts, hexproof. I'm sure it exists. I'm sure it exists. Also, hold on. I'm going to like recenter myself really quick. There we go. A shitbox. I've heard of the poop sock, but not this. You know, it's funny. It's funny though. It's a BRZ, but has oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. I made it a shitbox. Amazing. Amazing. No. The shitbox is referring to like the idea of you making it a shitbox is so funny to me. To just be like, yeah, I got this car. It's a piece of shit and I'm gonna make it worse. It's a piece of shit and I'm gonna make it worse. Let's put a roll cage in it. Who cares? I'm still getting used to your eyes moving, so there's a position that makes me think you've got a cat's massive play eye. Play eye? Maybe. Maybe indeed. I have an evil smile and I have a cute bigger smile. Look at me, chat. I'm harmless. What trouble could I possibly get into? Anyway, we can take off the minimize now. There we go. There we go. If I got an old rusted out Civic, I'd turn it into Mad Max car so the deer would be afraid of me. Ooh. Can we have a meme template with your emotions? I could do that really quick. Do you want me to go through it again and y'all can like grab screenshots or something and drop it in the Discord? Or I can do it later. I can do it after stream and grab the actual ones for you. I'm so fast. Okay, we'll go through the expressions again. Let me see, where's the center point? It's like right there. So there's the neutral one, which is like always here. We'll do it over here so I can look. No, I need it. I need to be lower. There we go. That's more like it. So like default, evil smile. I'm going to hold them each for a few seconds for y'all if y'all want them. Bigger smile. A little bit of eye pinch. Confused, which is honestly my favorite expression because this is how I look at y'all 90% of the time. And then there's only two more. There's sad. There's sad, which is basically just it. I made him specifically make it so that I had black tears. And then there's scared. Okay. And now I can do the reset again. Oh, yoink. Oh, wait, too much. There we go. That's a little bit better. Oh shit, I don't need to worry about hexproof. I forgot Indomitable Archangel, give all artifacts shroud. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. All right, hold on. What is that emote? Oh, it's Merps. Oh my God, it's like, it's the tofu car. Tofu delivery, motherfuckers. That's such a good emote. I fucking love Merp. I love Merp's art and Merp's emotes. This still doesn't quite feel right. I don't feel like I'm centered properly. That'll have to do. Shroud. Shroud is a mechanic that I haven't thought of in a long time. What does Shroud do? What does Shroud do as opposed to hexproof? Unlurk. Hi, cool. Phone charged. Phone well and charged. Yay, streak 5. 2 questions. Thank you for the 5-stream streak. Welcome in. Also, give me just a second. Sorry. I'm not one for blowing my nose on stream or hearing y'all get to hear the type shit. Metalcraft. Artifacts you control have Shroud as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. An artifact with Shroud can't be targeted by spells or abilities. Okay. But if I remember correctly, board wipes don't target anything. They just do, correct? Oh, what's the white one that's exile all cards? All permanents on the field? Return to Ash? Something like that? Yeah, it could not be targeted by you or opponents. Hi, Obsidian. It's only the low poly. This is basically going to be the little bridge. It's the fact that we debuted it yesterday, and I mentioned this earlier. It's the fact that we debuted it yesterday that I'm going to play with it again today. This is also going to be a pretty good way to see if it can run during a game as strenuous as Monster Hunter. So we will see what happens. Yeah, I was going to say board wipes get around a lot of things. A lot of things. Shork be upon you? Shork. I actually have one of those. I do have one of those sharks. I like that they emote. Oh, no, it's just blah and blah too. Okay, I thought it was going to be blah and the other one was going to be ha. Blah hi. So it's a farewell, which can hit almost all non-lands. Don't think it can... Farewell's the one that's like choose one or more. And it's like exile creatures, exile enchantments, exile... Is it lands? I think it's lands. Because I've seen a meme where somebody was like doing the... This is going to sound weird when I try to set the meme up for y'all because it was on TikTok and I don't think I want to pull... I'm going to pull up TikTok. I'm gonna do the regrettable thing of pulling up TikTok. You did this to me. You did this to me. Yes, they? Can't believe I have to go back. I found a thing. What thing did you find? What mysterious thing have you found? Where would this be? No. I don't think this is in favorites. But I remember what it looked like because it's pretty much just the picture of Farewell. I think it's actually a special edition of Farewell. Okay, I don't think it's in this section. I wouldn't doubt, though, that it may have gotten deleted off of TikTok because back during like the purge and stuff. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's somebody else. That's a different Cyberpunk game that I saved. That somebody was advertising on TikTok that seemed kind of cool. But no, that's WorldFire. That's a video on WorldFire. But I really can't find it. It's not here. It is not here. Oh, wait, I found it. Okay. Okay, hold on. It's fine. Actually, it is not fine if I'm on this corner. It is not fine. I have to move to the other corner. Gosh darn it. I need to swap the, yoink. Woo! Too far. I am speed, apparently. I am evidently speed. And give me just a second. So what I am going to do really quick is I'm going to look over here and then I'm going to do, there we go. That's a little better. And then bring this back up. Cease the music. Yes, you can look at the very cool M on the back of my head for now because I think it's funny. While I get the capture ready. We had to bring up Farewell.
Making a mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't thread over every egg.
Wait, where the heck? Ah! Harvey! Harvey! Harvey, no! Ah, wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on. Harvey! Welcome in. How was your stream? Did you have a good time? Did you have fun? Did you get into trouble? Welcome in, Raiders. I hope you had a wonderful stream, Harvey. How was Mibble Ribble? I haven't played Mibble Ribble since the end of January. I actually just checked earlier. It has been almost 2 weeks since I've played. Sheep is broken into the carnival. Welcome in, Raiders. We were being nerds and we were talking about magic. So really quick, this audio is only going to be in the stream and not the VOD. So I'm not going to adjust like audio settings. But this is basically anytime I think about when I think of Farewell. POV when I played my 6th land on turn 13. Tap 6, play Farewell, and scoop. And it's just the fade out. It's just the fade out that gets me. That's all we were talking about for now. We can tuck that away. Actually, chat. We got to do the thing. We got to go look at the thing. I have to go talk about the stuff. See, the pants are here now. There's our cool new sweatpants. We have new merch. We did Helldivers and then Mibble Wibble. Oh, I did see you playing Helldivers. Wasn't Izzy playing with you for a little bit? I think Izzy was playing with you for a little while. I need to get you into the Rivals group at some point. Nah. I always struggle to play. I usually want to play with like my friends. But then I always end up finding out that like my friends are playing by themselves and like doing ranked and stuff. And then I go play ranked and then I feel really bad because I have really bad teams. Yeah, there's pants. Chat, you can make your own tracksuit. You can have your own carnival tracksuit. We have some of your friends come join us. I don't know. You have to have at least two if you're playing ranked. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's. But nobody's been around to play whenever I'm like available. I may play a little bit tonight. We'll see how much I get sucked into Monster Hunter. I'm probably not going to get too sucked into it because I know it's a beta and it's not going to matter later. But this is actually probably a good time to swing on over. Let me go ahead and get the game up and running while I leave this here for y'all to look at momentarily. Where did it go? Where is Monster Hunter? There is Monster Hunter. But Harvey, I hope you had a good stream. And Raiders, welcome in. I hope you like my new model. We're only using it today. It's typically going to be saved for retro games in the future, but I'm using it today. Oh my God, did it crash upon launch? No! Capcom, no. Oh. Something's happening. Something's happening. Hello? Okay. Now we can swing on over here. And I can do this thingamajig. There we go. And now I'll go change the settings. Monster Hunter. Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds. Please and thank you. Thea? Who's Thea? Zozo Civils, at least those are two of the three I know of. Oh. Mount. Hi, Mocha. All right. I have my controller here. It doesn't actually seem like it's working. Let me do unplug and replug. Here, we'll do this. Maybe it'll work later. Okay. Autosave function. What about Zozo? Oh, no. Carrie was just talking about people that she was playing a game with. Playing games with. This is actually just... Wait. Is that my character from the last beta? Did it carry over? Can I... Oh, there it goes. Okay, now it's working. Now my controller's working. Fantastic. It is! It does still exist. Look at her. She's fucking sick. Yeah, we'll just go to the recommended lobby. It does not matter. I am not playing with anybody right now. I do need to do the readjustment really quick. So we're going to look over here. And we're going to center it. Oh, actually, I think I want it, like, here. That's a little better, because then I can look at chat. Because I can look at chat and my head doesn't twist all the way around. That works out. Okay, so let's see. What's new? Is there anything that's new? If I go to... You have a mission. Hold on, what are my weapons? Equipment. I obviously have a bow right now, but I don't know what I put on my bird raptor thing.
Hunter, we've received word of sightings of an unidentified
This is such an awkward conversation.
I'm told it flashes its prey with light and spews poison.
Oh my god, whose palico is that?
Monster that the guild is quite familiar with. Apparently,
Let me also turn this up for y'all.
Is in a season of fallow. Perhaps we should investigate?
I'm sliding it up, but it is not changing anything. Okay. I'm guessing that one's mine. Turn to base camp, talk to Alma. Again? Again?
Hunter, we've received a special assignment from the guild.
Jesus, these conversations.
We're to hunt Arkfeld, a monster of legend. Our knowledge of it is limited to
Hi,
only what we found
Obsidian.
in records.
Yeah, Monster Hunter.
A quest is now available for this assignment. Speak with me or see the quest board and attempt to accept it.
I feel like I'm gonna keep turning the volume up and then we're gonna get into a fight and it's gonna blow our fucking ears out.
Careful.
Okay. Is that it? Is that it? Doomsday Paladin of Chaos, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Let me see. Here, this may be another way to check because in the last beta, oh, damn it. Okay, so yeah, it may be close to the same. Oh man, is this just... Hi Tom, who are you? Oh my God, his hat is a tomato. I love him. Oh no, is the beta still just gonna be basically the same? Yeah, it's all still like getting ready. Okay, Oh, here, I think what they did in the first beta is we had just all of the available armors. So if I go here. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Okay. Let's go look at the quest counter really quick. Post or join. And a training area? Okay. I was gonna say, is it the Balahara and Arkfeld? Because I think Arkfeld is new. Arkfeld seems very new. Windward Plains, Daytime, Sandtide. Fallow. Oh, okay, where's the... Oh, here's the Palaquate. Oh, okay, it doesn't work yet. Doesn't work yet. I don't know if I should go and do this one when I haven't even like warmed up and even remember the controls. Do we do this one or do we try to just do like an alpha one? Here, if I go back.
I'm happy to help.
Oh no, that was actually the option to join. Here, do we go do one? Your primer ran out. What were you gonna paint? What minis were you gonna paint specifically? Keyshawn, how are you doing? There's 2 new monsters. I'm sorry, I just realized you were the one talking about the new monsters. So I'm guessing I won't get the other one until I guess I fight Arkfeld. The rubber flashbang has returned. Which flashbang? Flashbang? Am I flashbanging you? Am I too pale? Is that what it is? Am I too pale? Here, I'll put these away then. There we go. Oh no, we'll put them completely away. There we go. That's better. More screen real estate for y'all to look at. I'm sure y'all like this a lot more. More game time. More game real estate. Some Battletech minis. Ooh. Are you excited for, oh, what was it? Trench Crusade. Who's excited for Trench Crusade? Who's ready for Christian traumatizing via tabletop games? Not you, Bird Flashbang? Oh. Okay, I'll put these back. Go to the lobby quest. Oh, okay. This is bad though. I kind of want to jump into these. Yes, this is time. Passcode. Oh no. Bamboozled again. Bamboozled again. Inquest? What does that mean? Oh, there we go. Okay. Be lurking. Aw, Sin! You won't even hang out and watch me learn this game because I'm really stupid. And I don't remember how bow works in this game, but I do remember being really cool. Hi, Hora. Hora, the fact that you came in here saying in all caps. Oh, thank you. I was gonna say, do you want to play? That's usually what you say when you're like, can I join? I always think it's funny. I always think it's funny. Okay. Let's see if I can remember fucking buttons.
A supply shipment's come in. Hope you find something
How to
useful.
mount. When you get on the mount.
We've been given more supplies. Check your
Is it hold B? No, it was hold something, wasn't it? Goodness, me forgetting controls. Especially because they kind of need it to get across that gap. Oh, up on the D-pad. Okay. See, there we go. Hanging support? Hell yeah. Welcome in. I hope you had a good day, though. Okay, there it is. I should have probably done this on a...
Overwhelming presence. It has to be Arkfeld. The guild has
Oh.
almost no information regarding this monster. We must approach this hunt carefully. You can carve materials off of small monsters as well.
Damn it. Now, I remember bow changed in this game. Okay.
Sorry.
Oh! Okay, so let me double check. Now I remember there was... There it is. There's the... Oh! Oh my god!
Come on, you're better than this.
Let's see here. Okay, that's coding, but... Woo! Oh! Oh! Holy shit, that's cool!
You must hold on strong.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, okay, he's leaving. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not! Oh, the model's actually holding up really well in this game. Is he leaving? I can't figure out what he's doing. Oh. He bounced like you hitting on the pavement. Don't call me. Don't say it like that. No. Get your ass back here. I want to hit you. I want to hit you with my... I almost said sword again. Oh, it looks horrible. I keep forgetting the dodge button. Oh, whoops. Ooh, whoops daisies. That's gonna hurt. Oh, shit.
Hang in there.
Trying to remember there's a special mechanic that came with this game that felt really good. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Whoop. Oh, there's a lot of beetles. Where are you? Oh, it's a wedge beetle that's just up in the air? Okay. Okay. Ah, son of a bitch.
You needed to worry about me.
Oh, time. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, Valk, you got a new PC? Hell yeah. Holy Gahongalahoos? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you on about, Willis?
One of those chains.
What are you
Your
on about,
chance to
Willis?
attack
Here, we'll take jacket
by
off.
focusing and targeting its weak points.
Perfect.
I'm
Perfection.
glad you're all right. Take a second to restock your supplies.
It'd be even funnier if I wasn't playing what's probably one of the most graphically intensive games of this generation. Because it feels weird to be playing using a low poly model in a game that looks this good. Let's do a warm up. Let's go do... We'll just pick one of these random alpha ones. Have you tried the benchmark? No, because I don't think it matters. What's the point if I'm going to play the game regardless, even if I have to make it look like a potato? The game still merits polys. They took my polygons! They're gone, chats! They're gone. My polygons are gone. My polygons have been minimized. Speaking of which, I can probably just get rid of the chains.
Have another help.
Anyway.
No surprises today. A supply shipment's come in. Hope you find something useful.
Yep. Don't. I love that. Some of these mechanics are so cool. Oh, what if the other guy in here is also a bow user? I will take that. How do I swap web? There it is. It's my other one. Sword and shield. Okay, that's actually perfect. Okay. That looks like poo. The game looks real good. I've seen some people that are running it on like really outdated systems. And it's really funny to me. Pirate Majima before Wilds comes out. Listen, do your best, okay? All you gotta do is do your best. Oh, I jumped right over him. Raider warrior. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't have my hammer. This is a good spot for the hammer. Ow. Okay. I also need to get way better at like parrying. I constantly forget to use my shield for anything other than just really just bashing. Thing is, so is I keep forgetting. What is the key for like some of the special stuff? Is it just hold left trigger? Oh, that was weird. That was weird. Here, we'll swap weapons. I do love the mount in this game, though. All full cosplay too, no lines between systems. Oh. Up to 50 people, public quests you were free to find, or they added private lobbies with friends. Ooh. Is the shitty Omen? I don't have all the parts to make my new PC yet, so I gotta suffer. I'm sorry. Yeah, PC building takes a long time. It literally took me a whole year to build my first PC. to get all the parts together because of how expensive they were and because I was a broke senior in college. Oh, whoops. That wasn't what it was supposed to. That's not Dragon Piercer. Where's my Dragon Piercer? There it is. Okay, I was like, did they take it away? God, I fucking love the dodges. God, it feels so good at times. Okay, yeah, that's what I remember. That's what I remember, the hailstorm. Oh, straight arrow, I forgot about that. Come on, where's the pieces that haven't broken off yet? I think it's just his face. I think it may actually just be his face. The circus mobile? What do you mean the circus mobile? Yeah, okay, it's just his face. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that actually was him. Okay, I thought he was gonna, like, snap forward for a second. We are leaving! Give me that vitality, please, and thank you.
Bet I can set up camp
Listen.
there.
Oh. Oh. Oh, did I just unlock a new camp? Hi, big guy. Woo. Point blank range. Point blank range. Fuck it, we fall. Works for me. Works for me. That's so satisfying. Dang, everybody's playing bows. The other guy was a bow whenever I first signed in. No, bad. Cease. I'm trying to remember though, what's the... Woo. Oh, good hits. Good hits. I feel bad for this poor. Oh, I love that so much. Okay. There's just something that's so clean about some of the dodge animation. Murder it harder. I'm trying. I'm not very good at this game, okay? Slice, 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 slice. It's like you're fighting a real monster. It feels good. It feels like you are some kind of like crazy elite hunter. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a bunch of this stuff that's around here, like these bone piles and everything. Come here, beetle. Yeah, but it's like they give you this whole thing through all the games where you're like because look at the size of this thing. Are you kidding me? No normal human could take this thing on. And it really feels like this game is making you feel like these almost superhuman hunters. It looks like a bear lion. It looks like a dog. It looks like a dog to me. It looks like a giant dog. because I had a Shar-Pei as a kid, and to me, it reminds me of that Shar-Pei. It reminds me very much of the Shar-Pei that I had as a kid. No, I didn't break nothing. I didn't break nothing. But there's a lot of new monsters in this game, if I remember right, and some returns of some old ones. Like I think the penis monster's coming back in the full game. All right, I have false confidence, which means now it's time to try to join somebody else's harder one and hopefully not fail. The average human hunter is 7 feet tall and is raised in the meat of monsters. That's true. Pulls random animals to put together. Like, okay, it's armadillo that has an anteater tongue and spits paralysis. Okay. Yeah, where they're like pulling like from a bunch of different lottery machines. Like you're at bingo. Oh my goodness. It's still really cool though, Keyshawn, because they're really hamming it up for this game, it feels like.
Are you prepared? More supplies have been added.
Oh Jesus. I was gonna say, I just realized I probably need to actually craft some healing potions. Because I don't think I have the auto. Oh, this is gonna suck. Too bad my legs are made out of fucking steel, baby. Oh, it's supposed to auto make these. Oh, it's because I have no honey. Duh. Yeah, give me the sword shield. Come here, bitch! I feel like I basically just took a like golfer's approach to jumping on this guy for a second where it's like, I have a bow and arrow right now, but we already have like one bow and arrow and a bow gun. You know what? Just give me my sword and shield. Oh! Oh! I was not paying attention. I did not expect to get absolutely fucking cattle stomped for that one. Jesus.
Keep an eye on its chain-like appendages.
Okay.
Get their attacks and reach while they fight.
I forget. How do you... Can I cook in here? I forget. No, I can't. Oh, there it is. Grill a meal. Recommended meal. Please and thank you. Add ingredients and cook. I fucking love the food in this game. It's so fucking sexy. It looks like pork belly. Pork belly. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Ooh, gimme. Oh, it shatters. Oh my god. Chat, I'm gonna be obsessed when this game comes out. Oh, it's right here. Come here, bitch. Okay, it's B for the hook slinger. Where you running? I just got here. We got 5 minutes. We gotta kick his ass. Come on, Secret. I can't seem to break off. And it's like, oh, it's gonna hurt. There it is. Jesus, come on! God damn it! You can't upgrade. Wait, I'm getting absolutely fucked by this dude. I feel so bad. I just failed those guys' mission. Shit.
Right after its swings one of those chains, is your chance to attack.
I basically just came in and died twice for those guys. Fuck. I don't think I can I can't upgrade my gear because I can't go to the blacksmith.
Okay?
I can't talk to Gemma. Darn. Darn. I love this shield though. Shield looks so cool. That feels bad. That feels really bad. Good lord, what is that? Oh, it's a switch. It's a switch axe. Gemma in the Baron cosplay. I think, do you have that backwards? I'm not gonna lie, when I was looking at her, I was looking at this stuff, I was like, I wonder if I could get Izzy to make a PNG of me dressed as Gemma for the launch of this game. I think that'd be really cool. If I could get like an active PNG. It'd be a hell of a lot easier. Waterminator? Oh goodness, sorry, hiccups. I thought it looked like Izzy, not gonna lie. Wait, who? What looked like Izzy? Who looked like Izzy? Where? What? Huh? Gemma? Gemma looks like Izzy. Or I can't think of who you would be thinking looks like. Yeah, wait, you think Gemma looks like Izzy? Turn around, Gemma. I don't see it. I don't see what you're getting at all, Grins. Anyway. Oh god, do we try it again?
Yes.
How do we unlock the other... Like, how do we unlock the other things? Before I blow a gasket at the fuckers in my game? It's okay, Carrie. Have a good time. Go get your foods. I'm sleep deprived, my bad. Marvel Rivals, Carrie. Yeah, Carrie's probably playing more Mibble Ribble. Mibrib! But... Sorry for the sniffle. Faint 5 times? Okay, so people had to have been fainting a whole bunch if they fainted 5 times to get the failure. Okay, maximum number has already been met. So this is probably... What's that 2-star? Why don't I have it? SOS players? This one I think is because of multiplayer settings. Okay. In demos is always crazy. But like this one's higher level. This one's level 3, and for some reason I don't have this one discovered. Here, let me see. Maybe is there people I need to go talk to?
Understood.
Does that say CCP meow? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. You can go bop it? Maybe. Oh, yep, there it is. Can I mark that? There we go. Okay, we're going to figure out what this fucker is. Where am I? Okay. Take that thunderbug. Where am I going? Give me that. Okay, it's this way. God, these maps are huge.
The lightning has them amped up. Might be able to use them as a trap.
Okay. Isn't I find these rock shapes like kind of terrifying? Okay.
Added some materials too. Check your sacred's pouch.
Wait. Stop running. Where is it? Is it? Oh, okay. My thing's auto running to it. I forgot that that was a mechanic. I completely forgot that that was a mechanic. So theoretically, yeah, my raptor is running to it for me. Oh man, it just left. It just left. Hold on, there's a bunch of bone piles here that I want to pick up. I don't think it's gonna do anything because I can't craft nothing. Oh wait, no, that was something else. Who'd that be about? I have Pete's time to make people regret being dipshits by putting their scammy bullshit to the public and watching the entirety of the community collectively turn on them and tear them apart. Carrie, what the fuck? Well-known traders? Me? Oh no, Carrie. Oh no. All right, let's see if there's another one that came on the map. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. No, there's two Balahara. Yeah, we're just gonna go back to base camp. It's not here now, which boom, but how did they try to scam you? Oh god, did you see that guy before he loaded in fully? That's crazy. Alma!
Yes.
I swear you look like some porn star that was popular in the 2010s. I'm not even joking. The one that like every teenage boy would constantly talk about in the early 2010s. Maya Khalifa, I think was her name, something like that. She looks like her. That's who I see. And it's so weird to just be like, why are you in this game? Mia Khalifa. Actually, I don't give a shit. Carrie. Sorry, not Carrie. Grins. I'm sorry for the hostility, Carrie. Or so I've heard. Sure. Sure, Grins. Sure. All right. Oh, this is the optional one. So we're gonna steal somebody else's. I want to do some more practice. So we're gonna go beat up the poor dog. I'm sorry, Grins. I'm sorry. Argue that I was charging them more than they agreed upon because I have screenshots they're about to be torn apart. How are they trying to scam you, though? Where does the scam part come in? Oh, here it is. Known trading community for giving rare things out in bulk for free to newer players. Those players grew in the game and still check up on me. The few drones I do out someone in trade chat, they can basically consider their trading days over. Interesting. Very interesting. Sorry for the sniffles again. They tried to blackmail you? Good fucking luck. Okay. I like that I can basically get that plant right at the beginning every time.
Let's put them to use.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. Okay. Wait, where's the... Oh, there he is. Okay. I'm gonna swap to the bow. The palico noises. Oh, good shot. Oh, damn it. This is fine. No. Look at me. Oh, shit. Sorry. Hold on. I was just trying to... There it is. I'm pretty sure I can change the coding by doing this. So now it makes poison coating. Oh, the other guy left. I just realized that. Why did he leave? We'll do that. Sand peppers. How you liking the beta? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as it was before with like 2 extra monsters. So I'm not exactly gung-ho for it. I don't know how much I'm gonna play
There's our man.
this weekend.
There's our man. There's our boy.
You doing, big guy? You doing? I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. There we go.
All right, let's go. Simmer down, you.
Oh, I forget that you can actually, if I remember correctly, on the those are regular ones. Does I have a horn? Ah, shit. How did he miss? Oh, hi. How did you flub that one? Oh my god, get out of the water, get out of the water, get out of the water, get out of the water.
I'm sorry about the delay.
Ah, still got me. Okay. Okay. I can't believe you missed that there, champ. Oh, that's my own fault. That's my own fault.
You must hold on strong.
Yeah.
What you got?
Fine, we'll just top up. Why not? Why not? What? Ah, son of a bitch. Oh, wait, no, that still wasn't too bad. That was still pretty okay, actually. Are these all of the NPC helpers? I know Olivia is. I know Olivia is one of them. Hi, Soggy Pillow. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. Get your bones back here. Get your bones back here. Whoop. I keep forgetting to re-equip potions or coatings. That's gonna hurt. Get your buns back here. Also, with how big this fucking bow is, my god. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, he doesn't have any markers. A mobile blitz. It's huge! Like... Oh, hey! Frog! Alright, we'll do it this way. Hell yeah. And then bye, frog. Ooh, I did not like that screech. Did y'all hear that? It sounded like a microphone breaking. Or like one of those megaphone screeches. Oh. Snack. Snack. Look at all the little red spots you have on you, big man. Is that a treat for me? Oh, it's so good. It feels so juicy. I missed one of them though, but that's okay. Nah, I can't get any on that one. Hi, Zyla. No, his back legs aren't working. No. No, it hurts my heart. I don't know if I ever told y'all, chat, but one of the days that when my dad put down a golden retriever named Hunter I had as a kid, the morning of when I went to go check on him, he couldn't move his back legs. So my heart hurts. My heart hurts. And I had kept telling my dad because he had a limp for a while. And I was like, I would always tell him, I'd be like, he needs to go to the vet. They really just wait on me? That's hilarious. I don't think I have any barrels. Oh, I do have a barrel. We'll just put you right about.
We've been given more supplies. Check your sacred's pouch.
That'll do. Oh, I swapped weapons by accident at one point. Whoops. Oh, my bow. Oh, my bow. All right. Are they not... They put more barrels down, but they don't... Like, Olivia's not the one who lines up to hit him? Okay. I'll do it. I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. Guess what? Chicken shit. Yeah.
Just a little more.
Ow. Oh, and the Beauty put him into a trap? Amazing. Oh, that was really good. Just hit him with the multi-shots. Just hit him with the multi-shots. So he looks like one dog I had. He looks like the Shar-Pei that I had at the time. And whenever they get hurt, they act, it looks like the golden retriever that I had around the same time. Whoop. Oh, he's so fucking sexy. See, that shit's so cool. I missed it. I flubbed that one. Chat, you didn't see that. You didn't see that one. We good? The perfect dodge is so cool. Oh, I had no idea what he was doing there. Ah, they got him. Nice. Nice. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, I forgot you can climb on him now. You can climb on the carcasses. Hi, Lade. How are you doing? Thoughts on Alma? I think she's neat. Okay. Oh, I should have gone for the bone piles. Should have gone for the bone piles. Give me all the things. Please and thank you. Okay, let's go see if that mystery monster is out and about in the open world. Think of fear. That makes sense. Okay. 3? There's 3 Balahara here? Jesus. What do I do way out there? God, 3 frogs too. 3 Chatacabras. 3 Balaharas. And a fucking Raydao? Is it Raydao? I'm gonna go sleep. Night-night. Hope you like the new meme. Did you make a new meme? Chat, Monster Hunter... Her Wilds? What? 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 I heard Baja Blast. No, Balahara. Right here. Balahara. It's the 2 stars. Alright. Go see if we can survive a hunt with a big chain boss dude. Okay. It'll be fine. It will be fine. When you aren't hunting? Okay, I'll check it after stream more than likely. Godspeed? Well, thank you. I'm trying. Hi, Anger. How are you doing? How have you been? Hold on a second. I need a drink of water.
Have another hunt with no surprises today.
I just saw the timer. They're already down to only a third of the time.
This will help with this quest. Let's be sure to use them.
We gotta schmoove. We gotta schmoove. Oh God, that's 2. There's 2 people with bows. Okay. That means I'm gonna have to be the little psycho that goes in melee, and I'm gonna get my shit rocked. I forgot to fucking eat. Woo! Why did he really try to jump on me? Time to go. Oh, shit's on fire, yo. I'm still just throwing rocks at him. Hee-hoo. I ain't getting in there. I ain't getting in there until that rage is over. Ain't no way. I got one shot a couple too many times. His gimmick, it looks like, is basically like he has extended change, these things on his arms. I've yet to see anybody break them, so I don't know what exactly would happen if you could or did. Stop being so angry! Bad touch. Bad touch. I'm gonna steal some of these materials just because I can. Just because I can. Bad touch. Bad touch. Stop. Stop. Woo! This is fine. This is fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. This is fucked. I want my bow back. Give me my bow back. I want my bow. Nailed it. Nailed it. Are you serious? Oh! Oh! Okay. Where's everybody else? Oh, good flashbang. Oh, Jesus. I didn't die to it, but it hurt like a fucking bitch. It looks like I'm affected by something. Oh, it's dragon. Okay, that's a really cool effect. I don't think I'd noticed that. Yeah, dragon blight. Okay, this is fine. Okay, dragon blight's gone. I flubbed that one. Let's get a little bit of top up going here. Oh, bad touch. Why doesn't he like me? Uh-oh. Okay. Does anybody know off the top of their heads what Dragon Blight does? Because I've never learned what each different, like, blight and effect does. Oh, whoops. Jumps into the bramble bush. That's my own fault. To be able to damage. Gotcha. I don't think any of the weapons that are currently available in the game, though, deal elemental damage. So I don't think it matters. That makes sense. That makes sense. Ooh, I'm glad that didn't strike me. Look at how they huddle up together. That's so cute. Give me that. Please and thank you. Oh, but he's immediately pissed? Are you serious? I just got here. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I did not think that was an attack. I thought he was just moving towards me. Oh. Okay. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. Where is... I can't tell what you are. Oh, you're a parrot frog. Come here. Come here, bitch. Oh, now he doesn't come after me. Now he doesn't come after me. Oh, shit. Good son. Shit. Thing too is, I don't think we've broken anything on him. Oh, I still took that like a fucking bitch. Good son again. Good son again. Why don't you like me? B just jumping off a cliff to get away from him. Whew. Okay. Fine, I'll do this the hard way. Because we're not breaking anything off of him. We're gonna do this the big, dumb, stupid way. Come here. Can I? Oh, you can't hit them right on the tendon. Oh, shit. Hold on, let me try something really quick. Ah, good paralysis. Come on. Some shit needs to break. Get your ass back here. You're not even limping. It's gonna make me shit my liver. I'm happy. Listen, garlic butter is a gift from whatever deity you believe in. Okay, we're down to 10 minutes. And one faint, which is probably gonna end up being me, even though I haven't fainted once yet. Oh, I swapped. When did I swap weapons? I didn't hit anything on the D-pad. I don't think I hit anything on the D-pad aside to call the, There we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's down, bitches! Oh, just because they put a pitfall down. Oh, son Son of a bitch. Bad touch. Bad touch. Let them fight. Let them fight. Whew. Okay. Give me that. I like that I can kind of yoink some of like the supplies using the slinger. Oh shit! Couldn't dodge that. Couldn't dodge that. Okay, he's getting tired now. Ooh, that was really fast. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Use another potion, please, just to top up. I demand to be the god of garlic. I want to be the god of garlic. I might main Sword and Shield after all. Facing the target when you hit in multiple directions. Wait, what? I know, I just like have, I play a certain way. It's really stupid. Uh-oh. 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 Put those away just in case. Okay. Shit. Oh, this is another thing I keep forgetting, though, is... I think they gave us a cloak, like, really early. Oh, no, it's Ghillie Mantle. Forget what you do. Who cares? Who cares? Put it on. Why not? I'm a DD main. May try bow this game. Bow is crazy fun this game. Okay. Actually, I kind of need those herbs. And not to get hit by that. Bad touch, please and thank you. Oh, oh. I'm afraid to get in there.
Set a trap.
The sounds that they end up making for like the roars. Oh, here it is. Come here. Come on, big man. Oh, he went around it. I don't have... There we go. Bitch! Bitch! I went for a ride. I need to top up. I don't want to get one shot. Woo! Ah, shit. Woo! You missed the stun. Oh. This is gonna suck. Okay. Woo. Woo. Where's Kasumi? Oh my god. Uh-oh. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Whew. This is going really, we're probably, I don't think we're gonna get this in time. Okay. Where is he going? Oh, give me that. If I could find some honey, that'd be awesome. Oh, whoops. Wait, what are you? Oh, it's a wiggly. It's not auto running. Auto run for me. There we go. There we go. Timing out is better than carding out. True. True. We still only have one feint though, which is not ideal. Although I think this is his final spot. Also reminds me I need to I can use the whetstone while I'm riding, which is great. There's so much quality of oh, he didn't barrel. He didn't barrel. Why didn't you barrel? Smoke, why did you do that? Oh shit. Fuck me. I knew it was gonna be me. I fucking knew it was gonna be me. He wasn't even enraged. Why did that one-shot me? Why did that one-shot me? You had to jink it, physicist. I blame you. I blame you, physicist.
Wins one of those chains is your chance to attack.
I got the date for a foraging group meeting wrong, but I got a library card out of it. That's cool.
Glad you're all right.
Yes, it is grumpy. That's actually really cool. There's a lot of cool things in that sentence, actually. I'm just poking fun at you, physicist. You're fine. I'm gonna be back in just a second, guys. I'm going to get you. I know the ad break is basically over, or like close to over, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, ends in 30 seconds. But I'm going to take a brief break to run to the bathroom and no, my water is good. Okay. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I'm going to tough it out a little bit longer. It's a pretty library card with the pink Camilla flowers. Really? I'm more interested in the foraging group. That sounds really fun. Sorry about the ad break, guys. Welcome back. I died and it was my fault. I died. We failed. For all 5 carts. Listen, I wasn't the one that carted 5 times. That last one was the only one that I died to. Okay, hold on. Let's do a couple things. To do a meal, do we need to come in here? Do I need to do it here, or is there a... I need a Meowscular chef. Where is my Meowscular chef? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be this guy. Instead, though, we just get the tent meals, which is unfortunate. Castlevania Pangolin? Why Castlevania Pangolin? Yes. It looks so fucking good. Chat, do you think they're gonna make another cookbook for this game? Do you think they're gonna make a cookbook for this game like they did for World? All right. So we got that. We have food. Now,
Yes.
Alma, what are we going to do? Let's do a Balahara. Go piss tummy? No. I'm fine. I can tough it out a little bit longer. Yeah, there's a cookbook for Monster Hunter World. I believe it's official too.
Commencing quest now. Are you
I
prepared?
probably should. Goodness, at some point.
Come in. Hope you find something useful.
Oh, hiccups. Jesus. Gimme. Okay. Do you have the official Monster Hunter pickle piss chart? The what?
I imagine we could set up camp over there.
And then I will take that.
I gathered
Okay.
some materials too. Check your sacred's pouch.
Come here. The auto feature is a fucking godsend. I don't care what anybody says. But less people-y? Yes. Less people-y. As it should be. Where is... Wait, did I start a mission on my own and didn't realize it? I guess I did.
Hand.
Come here, bitch!
All right, let's go.
God, I need earplugs. I don't like that glow. Turn around, dingus. I'm still hitting him, but it's kind of funny. I'm still hitting him. Well, my character will not turn around no matter how much I'm trying to get her to. Hi, Hero. What are you up to? Just realizing Arco is probably missing one or two moves from his full set, just like Nergigante from World. Really? I have not been able to beat him yet. We keep dying to him. Or running out of time. Oh, well, that doesn't seem good. That was actually kind of cool. Oh. Okay. How are you doing, Hero? What trouble you been getting into? Oh.
Let's see what you got. Let's go.
Is that Rosa that jumped on him? Okay. Enjoying Monster Hunter with everyone else under the sun. Hell yeah. It's interesting. It's really fun. I also do apologize if I sound like off. It's because I've been sick the past week, basically. And I still have like the runny nose, drippy throat kind of nonsense. Jesus. I'm gonna just probably be attacking the tail if I'm just gonna keep slicing at things, right? Damn it, can I not hit that weak point? Oh, it's because he's leaving? I love these little worm dudes. I've been sick since Monday. I was out on, like Friday night was the worst night for me. Last Friday. And like my throat was basically like, went from being just like, oh, my throat's a little sore, guys. I'm gonna go rest after stream, to like after stream, it just turned into fucking glass. I felt like I'd swallowed glass. Uh-oh. 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 on me. You missed. Okay, you didn't miss that time. That's what I get. That's what I get for back talking. Slurp juice. Slurp juice. How did you blind that thing while it was underground? Oh my goodness. Turn around. Oh, did they bring the tail already? I think they did. Slowly work my way up the body. Can none of my vital stabs grab onto him? Is he too small? The way he just kind of looks back. Oh, you rat bastard. Also, hold on, I just realized something. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong thing. There we go. But come back here, bitch. Come back here. Leaves everyone alone in the stream. I wish right now. I'm so like stuffed up, which you could probably hear, because I can feel it. I can feel it in my voice. I want to be back to normal so bad because there's also some like auditions and stuff I want to try out for before they expire. And I'm really annoyed that I can't do it right now while I sound like this. Let's throw it away. Oh shit. You'll never take me. Oh my god, I can't fucking get out. Bad touch. Bad touch. That is still such a cool mechanic where he just makes like the trap hole in the sand. Wait. Oh, he's leaving. Okay. Hi, Oranges. How are you doing? Oranges United. Oranges United in what? What are we united in? Come here, shit for brains. Ooh, what are you? Oh, it's a weekly. Give me that fire herb. Please, thank you. Bonk. Oh, that's so much more satisfying than it was in the world. Holy shit, there was a shockwave to that. Thank you for this wound discovered, my favorite. Beat his ass! Beat his ass! Okay. Huh. Doesn't look like I can do it again. There we go. Now I can do it. Catch. Okay, so it does have to do with range. I do have to be up close to the wound that I wanna do the stab on. But God, though, also it's like the wound things that appear on the body look so good. With that one, that's fine. There's so many of them. Come here. I wish to stab all of them. Good shit. Good shit. He's digging away. The funny thing too is you can tell as soon as they're leaving because the NPC hunters that are with you already start whistling before they start trying to leave. Which is very funny. The fact that orange is the best color? I don't know. Red's pretty fucking cool there, champ. Red's pretty cool. Give me the nitro shroom, please and thank you. Herb.
More supplies have been added.
So many nitro shrooms down here. Jesus.
How you want to do this?
Soul, Rock Earth. Oh boy. Okay, it's nap time. Do I have any barrels? I think I only had the one. Yeah, I only had the one. Wait, what is that? Coin! Don't mind if I do. I swear, there's something we can do with these, isn't there? Right? Question mark. I swear we could knock these down on top of him, but I guess I don't have the equipment for it. Let's do this. Come here. Swap weapons. This is a better... Where's your head at? There's your head. There's your head. Line him up, knock him down! Oh, he doesn't have any more wounds. Swap it back out. Get on his head. Come here, bitch! Uh-oh. There it is. Timber! Whew. Okay. Saw that wound. Saw that wound. Oh no. I saw it light up at least. Oh, I didn't dodge that. Oh, thank you, Lessa. Oof. Oh, what did I just... Come on, buddy. Owie. The Engie is gone? What Engie? Why is Red edgy? Wait, oh my god, the Engie is gone? I love red and I'm tired of being called edgy for it. Wait, what makes... I know black could be edgy. I just think black and red is like a very elegant color combination. If that sounds weird. I know people think it's like edgy. I think it's just really pretty. It's classy. It's like a really pretty combination. Thing is too is I don't think I can do like any upgrades or oh jeez. That's my own fault. That's my own fault. Nope, bad touch. Okay, never mind. I got healed. Okay, I just pulled my knife out and hit him and he died. Amazing. Alright. The #1 response I get is, oh, like Razer or Nvidia? No, I like Forest Green and Black, okay? Get it right. Get it right. Or get it tight. Okay, let me, there was, where is it? Something over here. Something over here. Oh, it's a fossil. Okay, what's through here? Give me that. Give me that too. Give me all these things. Give me all the things. All the bonus points. Wilk Pebble. Interesting. Oh. This is so cool. Wait, that's so cool. There's parts you can dive through? That's amazing. Certificate. Awarded to those who punched Valhalla. Used to make equipment. Okay. Interesting. But we can't make any equipment right now. But not because of them? Oh, okay, so you do like the light green, the kind of like lime green. I can understand that. I can understand that. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, though, guys. I do have a little bit of bad news. I want to play more and do more stuff with y'all, but with the last like couple days, with me still having like the sniffles and shit, I feel really bad when it doesn't sound like I could give like my all. So we're gonna call it a little short here today. I don't think we're gonna do a movie night tonight. I could possibly do a movie night tonight. I don't know for sure. Let me do this real quick. This'll do. We can go back to the chatting screen and we can see who we're gonna raid. But exclamation mark fish, don't forget, fish basically gives you a free VIP if you're top of the leaderboard and not a mod. You have to be not a mod. But let's see here. Who is live? Who is live? Who is live? Who is live? Ash is doing commissions, it looks like. Okay, Luma's doing Monster Hunter Wilds. I'll throw y'all at Luma. Oh my god, Luma's being an absolute little gremlin. All right, guys, we will be back tomorrow's Saturday, I believe, which I think we actually did have something on the schedule. Let me go double check. Music's really loud, gonna fix that. Let me... Oh, those are not great pictures. Uh-oh. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh my god, I hate this. I'm looking at the memes. I hate this here. Schedule. Okay, yeah. We'll probably still do Paranormal HK. Paranormal HK is a basically a paranormal investigation game. I believe it's single player. Story-wise, where you play as a team of paranormal investigators in Hong Kong. But it's supposed to be in Hong Kong, but from what I heard, it's more based off of Kowloon Walled City. So I think it'll be fairly interesting come tomorrow. Don't forget we have new merch. Where did my browser go? There it is. There it is. Luma looks like she's also trying to beat what is his name? The guy that we kept dying to. Arkfeld, that's it. Arkfeld. Win Prey. We will do Prey fairly soon. I'm gonna try to get the gumption to do Prey. We'll start doing bigger stuff and more of the stuff that I want to do longer. Like, I want to at least get back to doing 4-hour streams for y'all, but it really sucks to try and talk like this for several hours. Also, where the fuck did my eyes go? What the hell is happening? Here, do this. Okay. I don't have a raid message just yet, guys, so we're probably gonna do the Brulee one. We demand crime brulee. We demand crime brulee. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Another 4 p.m. CST. We're gonna be playing Paranormal HK, aka Paranormal Hong Kong. Go give Lumicite some love, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Don't burn anything down. That's only saved for here. But until next time, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for muting. Why are you muting me? How could you do this to me? Until then, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. And thank you for enjoying the show. I will see you later. If you haven't already, I highly recommend joining the Discord. I'm going to start doing a lot more movie nights in there. We did 2 just this week. We'll probably do another one next week. I'm thinking probably Friday. Probably Friday. But I will have to look into my collection and see what we have. Until then, bye. Stay out of trouble.